Heartland is Canada's longest-running television show. For those who are unfamiliar with the series, it is about a woman with a remarkable talent for horse training. Heartland has been running for 15 years, and it's no surprise that it is at the top of horse enthusiasts to watch lists all across the world. As season 15 of Heartland comes to a close, viewers have begun to speculate about the show's future. Here's why there may not be a season 16. Firstly, season 16's viability is completely dependent on CBC's assessment. The Canadian network CBC hosts the show and has funded its growth since its inception, so their assessment of season 15 will eventually reveal the chance of another season. While the program is still running strong, the recent death of a significant character has caused viewers to have doubts about its future. It is unknown whether or not there will be a Heartland season 16 at this time. The CBC has yet to declare whether the series will be renewed or canceled, which is likely a few months after season 15 concludes. However, given the show's large fan base and good ratings, another season is certainly on the way. As inconvenient as it is, the Heartland cast and crew may already know what will happen to the program. Several cast members said shortly after season 15's release that they had been informed of the news for a few months. However, due to contractual obligations, they were unable to divulge the news until the formal announcement. So when might we expect to hear about a new season of Heartland? While it is difficult to predict, CBC might make the announcement as early as March 2022. After all, the network didn't waste time after season 14 finished on March 21st of last year, making the announcement on June 2nd. Do viewers want another season? Several factors must be considered when evaluating the chances of a new season. On the one hand, fans are still hurting from Ty's death in season 14, and many have abandoned the show altogether. Who could blame them? Heartland had built up to this point in the series on Amy and Ty's romance. Then, just as things seemed to be settling down for the pair, the program took a completely different turn and proceeded without Ty. An upset of this magnitude naturally resulted in lower ratings and mixed reviews for the newer seasons, which is never good news for a TV program. Having said that, the bulk of fans understood Ty's choice and embraced the show's new concepts. Many people have expressed their joy at seeing the Bartlett-Fleming family move on and start a new life. Overall, the show's ratings and statistics remain strong, as evidenced by an IMDb rating of 8.4 out of 10 from 14,000 ratings. With all of this in mind, we can confidently assume that Heartland season 16 is more likely than not. Season 15 left us needing more. While it's tough to imagine the network ultimately bringing the program to an end, there's no denying that the season 15 finale seems like a type of conclusion. The main story arcs seemed like they reached a satisfactory finish. Indeed, a lot of fans have already expressed their dissatisfaction with the ending, claiming that it lacked decisive closure. The characters, on the other hand, remain solid, and there are still lots of plot opportunities for a second season. All it needs are some inventive authors, and after 15 seasons, it's clear that they have many of them. According to the official Heartland Twitter feed, the current episode was referred to as the season 15 finale rather than the series conclusion. This is a promising indication. Next up, when would season 16 be released? While a release date for season 16 is difficult to predict, we may look to prior seasons for guidance. Heartland season 15 was confirmed by CBC a little over 2 months after season 14 concluded in Canada. The last episode of season 15, Leaving a Legacy, is scheduled to premiere on December 19, 2021, which suggests the news might be released by spring of the following year. A new season's planning, filming, and post-production typically take 6 months. With that in mind, Season 16 may arrive on our screens as early as September 2022. This is, of course, the best-case scenario, and we cannot guarantee that CBC will make the announcement so quickly or favorably. Who would return for another season? Season 16 is unlikely to see significant changes to the Heartland cast. After losing Ty and Spartan, the program couldn't afford to lose another key character so quickly. As a result, we can expect Amber Marshall to reprise her role as Amy Fleming, Michelle Morgan to reprise her role as Lou Fleming, Sean Johnston to reprise his role as Jack Bartlett, Chris Potter to reprise his role as Tim Fleming, Michelle Nolden to reprise her role as Jessica Cook, Jessica Steen to reprise her role as Lisa Stillman, and Ruby and Manuela Spencer to reprise their roles as Lindy Marion Borden. Other well-known characters such as Caleb, Jade, Rick, Parker, Katie, and Peter are all expected to appear on the big screen. George Fleming Morris, where are you? This is one major question mark lingering in the air. Georgie, Lou, and Peter's adoptive daughter has been on the program since Season 6, and we haven't been seeing enough of her. Georgie flies to Florida with her boyfriend Quinn at the end of Season 14 to train with world-class show jumpers at his family's facility. Lou makes a few comments about Georgie being busy participating in the most recent season. However, the character does not appear in any of the episodes. At the same time, neither the actress nor CBC have made any announcements concerning Georgie's departure from the show. Did you know Heartland's chief wrangler, John Scott, oversees all horse-related situations for the show? Not only that, but he also provides horses, livestock, equipment, and some of the filming sites too. Heartland, on the other hand, is only one of the famed wrangler's numerous ventures. John Scott has created a reputation for himself as an actor, producer, wrangler, stunt coordinator, and promoter during the last 50 years. He was the lead wrangler for The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and he oversaw scenes involving hundreds of horses. In 1970, John Scott also co-founded Stunts Canada, an organization of professional stunt artists. Over the last 30 years, his own firm, John Scott Productions and Motion Picture Animals, has catered to scores of big film productions. Over the course of his career, the former rodeo rider has dealt with every animal conceivable. His specialty, though, is horses, cattle, and buffaloes. He also has a supply of wagons, buggies, props, trucks, and trailers on hand. Many Heartland actors are horse enthusiasts in real life. Surprisingly, horse experience is not required for any of the positions on Heartland. Nonetheless, some of the prominent Heartland performers are real-life horse enthusiasts. Take, for example, Amber Marshall. The show's star has been riding since she was 4 years old and is just as skilled as her character Amy. Amber Marshall and her husband also reside on a 100-acre Alberta ranch. They care for a variety of animals, including horses, cattle, dogs, cats, and even an alpaca. Who better to play Amy Fleming than a real-life Amy Fleming? Alicia Newton, who plays Georgie Fleming Morris, is another devoted equestrian from the show. Alicia, like her character Georgie, is a competitive show jumper. She has 2 lovely horses, an Oldenburg mare named Diva and a Dutch warmblood gelding named Aflame. Sean Johnston originally intended to play Tim Fleming on Heartland. This may surprise you at first. Sean was only in his mid-40s when he auditioned, so he believed Grandpa Jack was too old for him to play. Sean is actually 2 years younger than Chris Potter, who portrays Tim Fleming. Sean, on the other hand, had an instant connection with Jack's character after reading the screenplay. Fortunately for us, he's done an outstanding job in the role. Sean Johnston, according to members of the actors, is the hardest worker they know and a classic example of a perfectionist. Making Sean seem old enough to be Jack was also a difficult assignment. Every day on set, he spends hours in the makeup chair. To completely authenticate the role, he had to deepen his voice and rehearse Jack's characteristic walk. Jessica Omley, who portrays Mallory Wells on Heartland, is an accomplished horseback rider. Jessica's parents used to own horses, horses. Thus, she spent her entire life around them. Finally, two seasoned actors, Sean Johnston and Nathaniel R. Kahn, are horseback riders. Spending the day on horseback was a way of life for Sean, who grew up on a cattle ranch. Nathaniel's family has always kept horses, and he's always enjoyed being around them. When you adore a show, hoping that it will return for another season is never enough. Neither the network nor the show's creators have revealed if Heartland will be renewed for a 16th season as of yet. However, it is definitely too early for fans to expect any firm renewal news at this time. Season 15 concluded on Sunday, December 19th, so we're sure to hear something by March 2022. Thank you for watching.